good morning to you and welcome back to the programme this morning. It could take another 200 years for women to reach economic parity with men. That's the startling picture of inequality that a new report released this morning has shown. The good news? Well, the gap has narrowed, but only slightly. The report, which is by the World Economic Forum, shows that even though the global gender gap has narrowed, men still dominate both the labour force and politics, though economically the gender gap narrowed this year. Access to health, education, as well as political empowerment actually went down from previous years. Iceland is still the world's most gender equal country. Well, let's get some more on this with Sylvain Koch-Mechrin, who's the president and founder of Women Political Leaders, which is a global network for female politicians. Good morning to you, Ms. Koch-Mechrin. Thank you very much for being with us this morning on the programme. One of the areas where women have found the least representation and where the advances have been the least good over the last year is political representation. Why is this such a problem for women?
Indeed, it's highly frustrating, despite all the talks and realizing that there is the need for more women in leadership. Progress is still extremely slow, and in politics, as you just said, it's going backwards. 93% of the world's head of state and government are men. So why is it? Well, the World Economic Forum's Gender Gap Report is a very powerful tool to measure the data. And to complement that, we, as women political leaders, we launched the Reykjavik Index for Leadership, which measures the attitudes, the stereotypes. So how do people feel about women and men in leadership? Because those stereotypes eventually determine the speed of progress that we can achieve. And it's very obvious that there still exists a lot of sexism towards women and towards men in terms of what do people think, what are their abilities to be leaders in various sectors.
Among the world's 20 leading countries, France, Germany, Britain even did pretty well. The US did really badly. It slipped past 51st position. Do you have any idea or do you have any thoughts as to why that might be?
Well, again, it really is deep societal questions. So what do people accept as the roles that women and men have in societies? And it has to do, of course, with leadership, but it also has to do with the perpetuation of traditions, of stereotypes in terms of what's the place of the woman, what's the place of the man. And in our Reykjavik Index for Leadership, we measured across 20 sectors the difference of attitudes of women and men in leadership. And it's quite striking that these old traditions still seem to be so much determining the perceptions of what are women and men able to do. And that's really something that needs to be addressed both in terms of political leadership, business leadership, but also way beyond that, make it a big societal movement in order to change that.
All right, well, listen, thank you very much. It's great to get your thoughts on that. Sylvain Koch-Mechrin, the president and founder of Women Political Leaders.